Hi, my name is Macy, and today I'm going to tell you how you can become a medical assistant. So typically the position of a medical assistant is to relay messages between the patient and the provider, also triage the patients. This can include height, weight, blood pressure, anything that the provider needs. And it really just depends on the practice. It's really important when becoming a medical assistant that you get certified. So first you want to make sure when you're choosing a program that it is accredited. You need to ensure that you're going to sit down for an exam, either the NHA or the AAMA, to get your certification. In order to enroll in a certified medical assistant program, you either need to have a high school diploma or a GED equivalent. You also want to look at the length of it. Is it going to be 4 months? Is it going to be 9 months? Is it going to be 2 years? My program was for about 9 months, and that really fit with what I was trying to do in a certain amount of time. You also want to take a look at the options they have for a class schedule. If you work during the day, you should probably take afternoon classes, and vice versa. When you begin your classes, typically you'll start with Introduction to Healthcare. After that, you should begin doing hands-on training in classes. This will include drawing blood, giving injections, blood pressure, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first started, doing injections and blood draws were extremely intimidating to me. I was super nervous. I didn't want anybody to poke me with a needle, and I didn't want to poke anyone. But it's honestly one of those things that you have to just do and get comfortable with in order to learn. While you're getting this hands-on training, you will also be taking courses such as pediatrics, geriatrics, anatomy and physiology, medical billing and coding, but not too deep because there is actually a course to get certified for that. Once you're done with your coursework, you will then begin an externship. It ranges from about 40 to 120 hours. My externship was for about 80 hours. And this is where researching your school and seeing the length of it comes into play. If you're working, you're able to fit in your externship. You don't want to end up having to stretch your externship out longer in order to accommodate for work. At your externship, make friends. Talk to people and ask them what exam they took and what tips they have for you on passing it with flying colors the first time. The hands-on training will be essential for you during your exam and after. You're typically hired to whichever externship that you do unless they decide not to hire you or you decide to find somewhere else. Now here's a key tip that I can give you. Once you're done with your coursework, your school will ask you if you want them to find you an externship. Say yes. Also, still look for an externship that you want to go to. You do not want to end up in a predicament that I was in. My school found me an externship that ended up being a mess and a scam, and I ended up having to find my own externship. Had I known this ahead of time, I would have just went with the option that I found for myself. When you're done with your externship, you will then sit for an exam. You'll either take the NHA or the AAMA. Now I'm going to tell you the difference, and it's very important. The certification for the NHA lasts for about 3 years, whereas the AAMA lasts for about 5 years. Also, on the NHA exam, I've been told that it's way easier than the AAMA exam. The NHA exam strictly focuses on clinical duties, whereas the AAMA exam focuses on clinical and administrative duties. Now here's a tip I can give you. If you're doing your coursework and you feel like you've got it, you're gonna ace the exam, you remember everything that you were taught up from day one, I recommend taking the AAMA. Whereas if you don't remember all of your coursework and you don't mind taking some continuing education credits in the next 3 years, I recommend the NHA. The minimum scores you need to pass these exams is a 405 for the AAMA and a 390 for the NHA. The NHA costs $125 to register and sit for the exam. Meanwhile, the AAMA costs $250. Both will get you certified, and I've seen in multiple different clinics that they do get the same amount of pay because they're both nationally recognized certifications. I decided to take the NHA, and I will leave some links on how I studied for it in the description box below. If you do fail either exam, you do have a chance to retake it an extra 2 times, but I doubt that you'll need to do that. In case you do, make sure that you are studying, taking good notes, and asking people questions to answers you're just not sure of. Once you've successfully passed your exam, you are now a certified medical assistant. You'll then qualify for more pay and more hands-on duties at work. I'm also making another video shortly on how you can make sure that you score a job immediately after your externship and keep it. I know that it can be hard to find a medical assistant position straight out of school. They typically want someone who's been an MA for years, but trust me, I got you. If you have any questions about getting started for a certified medical assistant program, getting in school, passing the exam at all, please comment them below and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye.